Welcome to Blonde Highlights. I'm your host, Kris Yo.
And I'm Kyle Hennessy.
We are so happy you guys are here today. We are having so much fun right now. You should see us. We are completely identical.
Yeah, we got our headbands and our orange sunglasses on.
Yes, we've taken on new personalities and aesthetics.
Yeah, this is totally the personality. Like, these orange lensed sunglasses are like everything. They are the thing of the summer. Wide headbands. You know, we're starting a fashion trend. Basically.
100%. Even Michael, my husband, asked me to order him a pair, and now he wants to be my twin at home. And I'm like, it's not the same. You're not Kyle.
No.
This isn't.
No.
No. We're not doing this. You can have the glasses, but we're not twinning out together. No.
Yeah.
This is.
But I love that we're like wearing the same thing. And we have like the same color hair almost. So we're like literally looking identical right now.
Honestly, it's pretty much like looking at Mary, Kate, and Ashley, just a bit different, you know?
Oh, yeah. Like literally almost exactly the same.
Okay, wait. If you had to choose in being Mary, Kate, or Ashley, who would you be?
I don't know. Which the one that's always like off with some like old man smoking a cigarette?
I know, that's you. You're Mary, Kate.
I would need a double name.
I've always loved Ashley. I always loved Ashley. I used to fight over being her when I was little. She was always like, she was always just, to me, seemed like really like girly and cutesy, and I don't know. I loved it. But I see that you're wearing really fun earrings. So I was basic. I'm actually missing one of my earrings that fell out, and I'm just doing a gold hoop. But what are your earrings?
So I got these a while back because I went through my cowgirl era like a year ago before everyone else.
Yeah.
And they are, one earring is a cowboy hat and the other is a little like cowboy boot. And they're gold. Yeah. And it's cute. It's just a little spice of something. You know, I got to let the girls know.
Yes. Are you going back into your cowgirl era? Like, is this like part 2, round 2?
Oh, it's my whole life now.
It's because of Beyonce.
But it started before Beyonce. You know what I mean? Like there was this trip I was going to Vegas, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wear long denim skirts and cowboy boots. I wore cowboy boots the whole time, and what I love about cowboy boots is well, first of all, she's country. Okay, I grew up in the country. This isn't like cult. This isn't no appropriation. Listen, Kyle grew up real fucking country.
Yeah. How do Ohio?
Yeah, but like I grew up in the kind of country, not the wealthy country, but the poor country, you know. So we wore steel toe boots, not like this, not cowgirl boots, but I'm wearing them now, okay? And what I love about it is when I'm doing stand-up comedy, it kind of feels and looks like I got a heel on, you know? Like I'm like, these boots are made for a walk. And when I walk up on that stage, like I feel like that girl, like perched up, but my feet ain't hurting because it's only like a half an inch heel.
Yes, it's like a little baby kitten heel.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah.
I love it. I'm loving, you know what? At first I wasn't sure about the country from Beyonce, but I'm telling you, Jolene, her version has got me in an absolute chokehold. I love her version.
I do too. And a lot of people told me, they're like, oh, it's no different. It's kind of the same. It's kind of disappointing. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Because what I love about that is the progression that, you know, in Dolly's version that came out, I don't know, 40 years ago or whatever, she's like, I'm just a lonely woman. Don't steal my man. Don't come for him, please. And Beyonce's like, I will fuck you up if you come for my man.
Exactly what you say.
I'm a Banshee Bayou bitch or something like that.
Banshee Bayou. Oh my God. I love it.
I don't think it's that. It's Banshee something. And I'm like, from Louisiana. I'm like, yeah.
I know. Oh my God. That is like true progression. Like you look at my man, you're fucking done. Goodness. Yes. Oh my God.
Even though her man's kind of dusty.
This is Alrighty, let's get into some highlights and lowlights. What's your highlight?
Oh my God. Okay, so my highlight this week is, so, you know, I'm a hairstylist and, you know, I love a lot of my clients. And I have this client, I met her because she used to be my neighbor. but she is a musician, and I went and saw her perform live last night. It was one of her first like few like big live shows at this venue in Hollywood. So she got her leopard bell-bottom pants on, her cowgirl boots, and a top with some cleavage, and I had to park my car up on Hollywood Boulevard, and I was walking down, getting catcalled and all that. And then I
Yes.
walked in there into the music venue. She laid it down. Like, she was so good live. Like, you know how a lot of people, you hear them live, and it's like, not that they're, they get nervous or they're out of breath or whatever. She was just as good as her songs with her live voice. Like, I was like,
Wow.
damn. Like, I was so happy for her. And the best part is that I was back in my car by like 8:30.
Ugh, those are the best. Like, I'm too old to be staying out past 9 p.m. Like, get me back home on my couch and settle no later than 10. But good for her. I'm so excited
Yeah.
to show that support.
Yeah, and just so anyone wants to know, her name is Tanya with a J, like Tanja on Spotify. And she's pretty legit.
Yes. Okay,
And she's like a cool girl. She's a nice girl,
I'm gonna give her a listen. What's her number
Yeah.
one song called?
Well, she had an EP she released last year in October called A Haunted House. And it's
Ooh.
like, it's good. It's good. She writes her own songs and everything. Yeah,
Nice.
totally.
Okay, low light.
Low light is okay. So I live in a part of town where there's a lot of people that have way too much money for their own good. And it's not that I have too much money for my own good, because I don't at all. But there's a lot of just like rich, weird things happen around me on the regular. And we have literally living through an epidemic of Cybertrucks. The Tesla Cybertrucks came out a few weeks ago, and I swear to God, every time I get in my car, I see multiple of them, and they're humongous, ugly as hell. I don't know. I just like, I'm down. I guess they're electric, so that's great, but like, I'm like, this is too much. I can't. And then like I think the stainless steel outside like rust. So people are actually getting them wrapped, and they're wrapped in all these crazy colors.
Oh, wow.
And I was on TikTok the other day, and I saw these Cybertrucks lining up, and were parading down Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills. Yes, they were. And people were running in the street. People were cheering on from the side of the road and like, what? Like losing their minds.
Oh my God. Why? It's a fucking truck.
Yeah, well, they look like a Mars Land Rover, like a rover. Like, it's like something you would see like cruising down the surface of Mars.
You have to forgive me because I'm like, for those who are listening, I'm like in Canada and we don't see trucks like that in the parts where I live right now. I'm like, I see vans. Yeah, we only got Ford, Dodge, and Chevrolet.
Chevrolet.
No, I haven't seen one where I am right now.
Well, I think the thing is they literally just got released like a couple weeks ago, and they're like, I think there's only so many right now.
Okay.
And I think the first batch of people were like rich tech people or something like that. Like, so they're not, I don't think this is like a whole problem, but just be warned, they're coming for you, okay?
They're coming. They are coming.
But they can't make too sharp of turns, so you're okay.
They don't even seem like they work. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
know.
They seem like they take up like 3 lanes and they're a hazard. I don't know. When I see one, first of all, I'm gonna feel so advanced, but I will let you know what it's like because I'm just picturing something in my head and it's just not working with our roads. But
No.
wow. Okay, so my highlight of the week is I built my own podcast studio in my office.
Yeah.
And I have a new microphone. I put sound walls behind me, like sound panels, which are really cute. I have like a whole thing, and I got clothing racks and put blankets over them. So I almost feel like I'm in my own little fort. And so when I put it together, I was like, this is really cool because it's like great for the podcast, but like this is also my new hideout. Like I'm
Oh
coming
yeah.
here when I want to escape the kids and when I want to escape Michael and now the dogs. Like this is my new area. My low light for the week is, and like I know, I know that it's something that has to happen, especially because, I'm running the business with Michael, you have to learn the professional side of things. And whatever I get that it needs to happen, but I'm just getting the absolute ick from customer service voices.
Oh,
Right? And like I don't know if it's because I've had to deal with a lot of representatives this week, like calling in. I've had to call into places. I've been in the stores more than usual. And they just make me uncomfortable because it's like, I know you don't talk like that. Like when I see like a 22-year-old like boy and it's like this kid and he's talking to me like as if he's like a professional businessman and he's like speaking to me like we're on the same age level and maturity level. I can't handle it. Like it just goes from like, like, oh yeah, here we are having a good time to yes, well, I can definitely help you with that. Let me get your room ready. And it's just I hate seeing it and like I hate seeing people that I know do it. It just I know it has to happen and I'm guilty for it and I do it and I have my great customer service voice and I know that it needs to happen, but it's just like talk to me like a normal person. Like it's grossing me out.
totally. I would love to see a study on why, as humans, we do that voice because it's like it goes up an octave, and it's like, yeah, there's a certain rhythm. I can't even do it with like out doing it in real life. I can't turn it on, but it happens.
It happens and
What is
it
that?
it's just I think it must have been a thing to set you aside from regular life to your professional mode, but it's not working out for me anymore.
No, I like to blur the lines of unprofessionalism a little bit.
Yeah, me too. I feel comfortable. I feel like, okay, this is where I belong. Like, you get me,
Yeah, I'm like, are you my kind of people or not? Like, I need to know.
right?
Oh my God. Okay, so we are basically a Gypsy Rose podcast, okay? And we have a new updates
Yes, we
about Gypsy
do.
Rose. And if you don't know, last week I think we were talking about Gypsy Rose before leaving her man, okay? Well, immediately after leaving her man, we find out she's with her ex-fiance Ken that she got engaged to while she was in prison and then left him for Ryan, who she moved out with when she got out of prison. But then all of a sudden, she broke up with him, and now she's with Ken.
She is just jumping back and forth between Ken and Ryan. Honestly, she tried to escape Ryan and go back with Ken, but Ken wouldn't take her. This is all in the documentary that like I'm still
Oh my
you
God.
haven't seen. And she left prison. She was with Ryan, and now all of a sudden she's with Ken. And guess what she did? Guess
What'd you
what she
do?
did? She left her puppy with Ryan. Her brand new puppy. She just surrendered.
No.
Like, no, I don't agree with that. She said in the interview, well, like the dog loves Ryan more. And no, I couldn't do that. Like, this thing's a puppy. She just posted a video. Like, okay, like, if this is your first time tuning in, you have to know, like, I'm obsessed and fascinated. Okay, so, like, I know all the tea on Gypsy. So, she bought a balloon for her dog for Valentine's Day and was like parading it around with this balloon. And then all of a sudden, she's now not with Ryan. And now she's with this other guy, and the dog is still with Ryan. I don't get it.
Oh my God. Well, I saw the photos of her like outside of like a convenience store with Ken, and she's like smoking a cigarette. And I saw all these memes, and they're like, she's in her Lana Del Rey ride era, which is
Yes.
like, if you don't speak TikTok like I do,
Yes.
basically like your Lana Del Rey ride era is that song from her came out years ago, and there's a monologue, and there's like the beginning of it. She it's basically like talking about riding off with these old biker men, and like she's on the road with these road hogs, the
Yep.
road hogs,
Yeah.
and And
She
she's
is having
smoking
a moment.
cigarettes and she's being bad.
Yes. And that's literally Gypsy now. She's like, the D's not fire. Just JK. LOL, just kidding. But Ken's D is fire.
I guess the D wasn't fire anymore.
No. Poor
That's
Ryan.
hilarious.
But you know what? I actually don't feel bad for Ryan because it's like there was so many signs from Gypsy's parents being like, please don't do this. We don't
Yeah.
touch this. We want her to come home and like live out a normal life for a minute. She's very vulnerable. She's hasn't been exposed to the real world her whole entire life. And Ryan was like, well, I love her and I'm ready to give my heart to her and take care of her. And it's like, dude, like fucking read the room. Like, I'm not shocked. I'm shocked she left the dog. But then it's kind of like, well,
Anyway.
I don't know. But, you know?
Yeah. Like, I'm not for sure how old she is, actually, but she's young. But
No, she's in her 30s.
Yes.
She's in her 30s. I'll
Really?
go in there. Yeah, which, okay, yes, is young, but she's in her 30s.
But, she hasn't had a chance to live life yet. And, you got to make some bad choices. You got to date some questionable men. Maybe you got to date someone who looks like one of your parents. Something happens,
I get it. I think it's great that she's out there. She's blonde. She cut her hair. Yes, she is in her blonde era and she's just living her life. And I respect and I love it. And I think it's great. I'm just very mad that she was just able to surrender her puppy. Like I had to do that once. Like remember my whole like Australian breakup, which is like eek. But that whole time I knew that I was probably gonna have to leave my dog there. And I was like calling lawyers to be like,
Yeah.
can I get custody? Is there like a custody thing? Like, do I have to go through court? And they were like, no, like this isn't a thing. But I mean, and that was a different time, and that was pandemic, and that was moving countries, and it was a thing. But like, I'm just mad at her. Come on, Gypsy,
Yeah, Australia don't play
step it up.
when it comes to. Yeah, Australia doesn't play when it comes to like animals and things coming across the border.
No,
Yeah.
no. But
Yeah, and as a hairstylist who specializes in blondes, I will tell you what I see happening. Okay, this is a prediction, just because I see it happening all the time with young women, and we got to remember she maybe is in her 30s, but she's a teenager basically right now. She's just starting to live life. Is every time I see a photo of her, she's blonder.
yes.
So, and she's only been out of prison for so long. How many times has she gone to the salon for highlights?
Yes.
And what's going to happen is that she has caught the blonderexia, okay? And this is what happens. A lot of girls go through this. And then what happens is eventually all your hair breaks off.
Yeah.
And then you're in your fried blonde and bad extension era.
Yes.
It's a rite of passage.
And you know what? I've been through that. I used to bleach my hair, like full on bleach. And you have to know, like, I've been blonde now for, I don't know, 12 years, 13 years or something. And like the way that I have damaged my hair through this whole entire process is brutal. I have lost hair. I've had shitty extensions. I've done the whole thing. But now I know my hair care. So I hope that Gypsy, as she's doing this, she just gets her hair care because it could go really wrong for her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she
But-
needs those treatments.
Yes. So this week we thought it would be really fun, and we hope that you guys will continue doing this. Is we asked you guys to send us any question that you wanted to ask us, as well as send us in your weekly highlight and low light. So we went through some of these and we were on the phone and we were like dying over some of these. It was really hard to pick. So we have like a bank now of like all the good things that have come through. So do you want to go ahead and ask the first question?
Yeah, totally. And I love that we're going to make this interactive with the people, the viewers. And so that's going to be fun. So it's not just all about us, So the first question is from Haley in Los Angeles, where I am, and she said, I followed you both for a while. And what do you do to manage your mental health?
That's a great question. I love talking.
I think it really is.
Yeah. I love speaking of
Yeah.
mental health. You go first.
Okay, yeah. So what I do is I need peace, quiet. I need solitude. I started gardening. I have a community garden plot here in the city, and for me, it's this beautiful place that I go to, and it's like it's quiet there, you know? It has massive high fences with barbed wire, and I like to sit in the garden. I hang out by my lavender plants. Okay, I say, and I talk to the bees. I'm there with the birds, the bees, the lizards, the squirrels, the whatever. I love that. And I just sit there and I'm like, it's a level of peace. It's outside of the human reality that we live in,
Yes.
this made up societal reality that we live in that's stressful and hard. I like to get down to the earth, you know what I mean? Get my hands in the soil. Sometimes I don't even wear gloves because I'm like, I get my fingers in there,
Earthy with
and
it.
and that brings me so much peace, and it really has been amazing for my mental health. But that's not available to everybody. But there's find a safe space, have a happy place. If there's stressful calls, whatever, never allow that to happen in your happy place.
Yes.
And for me, that's been great for me. Also, I see a therapist once a week and I take medicine.
We love therapy. We are
Yes.
therapy activists here.
Yes.
But I think that that's good. I think it's important. And even if you don't have access to like a secret garden,
Yeah.
it is good to have like just like a safe space. Like even if it's your bathtub where you can just go in and like shut down. You're not taking calls. The kids aren't knocking on the door, which I know is impossible sometimes, but
hmm
finding just like a solitude area for yourself. I think that's a great tip.
Yeah, and you guys are probably not seeing video, but from what Kris sees of me is that like I am recording in my bedroom slash studio apartment,
Yeah.
and I'm very into interior design, and so I've created this space that is comfy and warm and that I love it. And I love decorating and I love Christmas trees, and I have a Christmas tree up right behind me.
All season, all season.
All season, she doesn't come down. I do want to switch it out. It is still Christmas trees, but I want to switch it up with some like fake flowers and fill it so it's like a blooming tree. I don't know.
A seasonal tree. I love it.
A seasonal.
For my mental health, I've really had to work extra hard on my mental health over the past, I would say 2 years, but past year especially. Um, and I feel like one, therapy. I went through some traumatic things at the beginning, or end of 2021, and I had to get some therapy for that. I put off my therapy, but once I went to therapy, that was such a big release for me. Um, but I really had to start doing something every day for myself that is just for me. So for me, it's a non-negotiable. I do a 30-minute workout. Sometimes I'll take Sundays off because like I want to let everything rest for a minute. But once I switched my mentality of taking care of my fitness and working out for my mental health, my whole relationship with working out and fitness and how I treat my body has completely changed. And I feel like doing that overall has just really helped my mindset. And it's helped me be in a little bit more control of my emotions. Don't get me wrong, being in Canada and being stuck in these shitty weather conditions of just overcast and snow, I definitely do. I've always kind of just dealt with like a seasonal depression around February, March, April. So, we're going back on that Wellbutrin. But, I am taking Wellbutrin now, but 30 minutes a day keeps my mental illness at bay. That's what I tell
Oh, yeah.
people. Because I do. I feel like even to just like having that time for yourself. So even if it's not doing a workout, but even if it's 30 minutes of watching a show, 30 minutes of just like pure relaxation, alone time for yourself. And I know that it's hard, especially since now I am a stepmom. I know what it's like to not have that kind of time for yourself when you have kids and a family. However, you have to prioritize it. You just sometimes just have to say no to your family and do it for yourself.
Yeah.
Because if your cup's not full, you can't pour for an empty cup. You can't fill their cups. So
No. No. And another thing, well, first of all, too, I've tried so many different antidepressants, and it took me a while of trying different ones and different ones and different ones. Like I tried the Wellbutrin. It gave me a little more energy, but it didn't really work so much for me. And I found one now it's like amitriptyline or something like that. But one of my biggest things that I learned is I can get overwhelmed by things and get extreme anxiety and will have panic attacks and all that kind of stuff. And so one thing that I have learned is if something is driving me crazy, like I'm on the brink of losing it, you know, and I just have to say to myself, what can we do to fix this? What is the solution? If there is not a solution that I can do at this moment, I have to let it go. I have to let it go. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to
Yeah.
burn down. I don't know. There's nothing I can do about it. So stressing about it and freaking out is not helping the situation. It's making my brain more clustered and I can't come to a solution. But if there isn't an immediate solution, you have to just let it go. It is what it is. It's, you know, can be devastating, but yeah.
Sometimes you do.
Just give it up.
Yep, you do. You just have to like let go of certain things that you're trying to control. And it's so hard too, especially in our professions, because we work in such unique industries. It's really hard because, you know, we don't have a steady 9 to 5 type of job. So sometimes my job can really, and especially in the past, it's really messed with my mental health because it's like I could be on top and I'm booking. I'm working with like awesome brands. And then all of a sudden I just like come down from that and I'm in a low period, you know? So
Yeah.
I've had to learn that, okay, that's just the industry and there's not really anything that I can do about that outside of like, you know, the model maintenance that I have to do for myself. But I think being in this industry and dealing with that has also kind of fed into just in life, learning just to let go and you can't control everything.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, especially in your industry, I mean, it's just rejection, you know?
Yes.
It's
Like pure rejection. There's nothing worse than fucking going to a casting. I'm sorry. And you know what? When I first moved to LA, I was so excited about every casting. I was like not jaded from the industry at all. And I would go and I'd be like, every casting's a new opportunity and you never know what it's going to lead to. But like that wore me down quick because there's nothing more frustrating and like nothing that makes you question your whole existence than going to a casting, having somebody literally just like look you up and down. If they have your book, like your portfolio in your hand, just like quickly glance at it, close it, and thank you. Like you're spending hours getting there, you're doing whatever, and it's just like a quick like, yep, thanks, bye. So like, you know, so yeah, I've definitely had to learn how to have some thick skin for my mental health, but just doing things and setting boundaries. I just want to add this in. You need to learn how to start setting boundaries for yourself, learning how to say no to things that you don't want to do. Who cares about being a people pleaser? That's something I've had to learn. Like, who fucking cares? If they don't like you, who cares? Their loss. So you have to set boundaries in your relationships, in every relationship. And just making sure that you are putting yourself first as much as possible. I know it's hard sometimes, especially with kids, but you still have to find ways to do that. So
yeah.
we are now also mental health gurus and specialists. We've been through the ringer.
Oh yeah, girl. We've been working on this mental health since I was like 12. I was one of those kids that was like always off with some like psychologist, like what's wrong with it, you know? God, I I had this one that would like come pick me up at my house and take me to Kmart.
Oh my God, that's so messed up. Why? That's a weird approach. I'm sorry.
Yes. It was just some random guy would show up at the house and I had to get the passenger seat of his Mustang and
Ew.
drive to Kmart and we would like talk about things at Kmart.
And why couldn't they even take you to like, a high value store to be like, like value yourself? Like, no, we're gonna bring you to the slums of Kmart. No. Oh my God. Okay, so weekly highlight. We have it here. Sorry guys, I'm unprofessional. I'm reading off the wrong page. Highlight. This is from someone from my hometown. So obviously, I had to put her in here. Yes. So this is from Caitlin from Bradford. And it's just blunt. Like, this is all she gets in the message, which just made it that much better for me. I told my annoying coworker to fuck off.
Hellfire. Yeah.
Okay, Caitlin. Like, good.
Yeah.
But you know what, though? I feel like that is part of setting a boundary.
Totally.
So, I've definitely been in situations, though, where you're at work and it's just like, just fuck off. Like, there's only so much, especially if you're working, I don't know where she works, but I'm going to just go for office. But let's just say, just because that's what I can relate to. But there's only so much like office or workplace politics and culture that you can deal with. And there's only so many Karens at work that you can deal with for so long.
Oh, yeah. And people will push and they push and they push and they see how far they can push you. So sometimes you got to just say it. You got to go, listen up, Brenda. You can go, fuck off.
Fuck off.
That's what
Brenda.
you got to do. Yeah, Brenda from accounting. Get back to your office.
And you know what? It's just like, I really wish that I knew why she felt the need to tell this person to fuck off. But,
Yeah, hopefully she's not the problem. I don't think so.
No, Caitlin wouldn't be the problem.
No, she would never be. No. Totally Brenda.
It's definitely Brenda. But I just think, you know what? Sometimes people just need to be told to fuck off. Like, I just remember when I used to work in an office and there was this person in my office and it was just like, you'd be in a meeting and then they would just start asking questions. And it's like, do you really care? Like, do you actually care that much? Where now we've sat in this room for like 40 to 45 minutes when my work that I have to do is just piling up. So now I have to stay late because of this meeting. And now you're just going to start asking questions. Like, that person deserved to be told to fuck off. But I never had the confidence. So I commend Caitlin. I commend you for your confidence.
Totally, yeah. And I struggle with that because I allow people to walk all over me. And it's something I don't enjoy about myself is that I am such a people pleaser that I'll allow people to just tread right over.
I know.
Okay, so I will go into the next one.
Okay.
If we're ready to move on. Okay, so this is a low light. Okay. And this is from Shelly in Vancouver. I love that we have a lot of Canadian followers because, Kris is our Canadian queen over here.
Represent.
I'm from Ohio, so we shared a border over a lake. A big old lake. We're actually, I grew up kind of close to you, but, we're in separate countries. It's funny because everyone's like, oh, you grew up in the South. And I'm like, honey, we share a border with Canada. It ain't the South.
You have Tim Hortons in Ohio.
Oh, yeah, we do. Oh, my God. I used to love that hot apple cider. I don't think they have it anymore, and it makes me sad.
Oh, my God. I used to work at Tim Hortons, and we used to call it, because when you'd write on the lids, this is such a lame joke, but you'd write AC. So we always used to be like, one AC Slater coming up, Saved by the Bell. Anyways, okay, go to the low light.
Okay, we're talking about Tim Hortons. Hold on a second. So the problem with Tim Hortons in my hometown is that we have a donut shop across the street. That's legit. It is the best donuts I've ever had in my life, and I cannot eat donuts anywhere else because I'm always disappointed because they're not Daryl's. Daryl's Donuts. Daryl's Donuts. So I would go across the street, get some stuff from Tim Hortons, and then I go back across the street, grab my donuts. I have to do it every time I go back to Hawaii.
Does Daryl serve coffee?
Yeah, it's just like a pot of coffee.
Okay, yeah, so we're mixing it up. Yeah, so
Yeah,
TikTok,
and now
coffee, and then apple cider.
what's crazy is that I'm low key distantly related to Daryl through marriage because my brother married into the donut empire.
Oh,
Oh
wow.
yeah. Oh yeah.
So you got a donut queen in the family.
They had a donut wedding cake.
Of course they did. That's
Okay,
awesome.
I'm going so off topic here. Okay, so
Back to Shelley
Shelly,
Vancouver.
Shelly, back to Shelly and Vancouver. Her low light is that I just broke up with my boyfriend that I work with, and it's been a nightmare. Honey, I'm sure it is.
Obviously. We kept the theme workplace. We thought, why not just go with it?
Messy in the workplace. Messy.
Yes.
What are you guys doing up there in Canada at work?
That's, you know what? I've been through that. I used to work with a boyfriend who I got him the job at the company I was working for. And when I tell you our breakup was like the biggest heartbreak that office still to this day I bet has ever seen. It was so much drama. People were picking sides. He was a manager. I was a manager at one point in sales, then went to the front. And then you know what he did? He started dating this girl who I hired because I was in HR, and they started having a workplace romance in front of me. Like
Oh my God.
the disrespect. And then he had the audacity to one time. So, okay, when we broke up, it was just like a thing. Like he was devastated. And it was one of those things where like I had grown to hate him. And like I think I hated him for a really long time, but wouldn't admit it. And um he one night we had this huge work party and we were staying at a hotel and he went off and did drugs. And if you know me, like you know, like I don't fuck with drugs. Like some of my friends have done it and like that's great, that's fine, whatever. I just
Yeah.
don't, and I don't want to be in a relationship where my partner is like out doing blow when we're at like a work function. So the next day I was already kind of like on my way out, but the next day I had come to him about it, and he basically said, why don't you just try it and maybe you'll like it. And right then and there I was like, I'm moving out next weekend. And like I just like snap of a finger, boom, done. And he had the audacity at work one time to tell me that I disrespected him by breaking up with him because we worked together and it was an embarrassment to him. And then he started dating someone at work. And I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, you don't make sense. This isn't lining up. So I hope, Shelly, that your situation isn't as like messy and just fucking dramatic as mine was. It was hell.
Yeah, but I would like to be one of the coworkers that's getting all the tea, you know?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Oh, to be a bystander?
Everyone was in on it. Even some of the bosses were like in on it because it was just like,
Yeah.
because like I'm so dramatic and it was like love and passion. And then you can tell like there were moments where like he was very obviously still trying to flirt with me. He would come to my desk. He brought me like Nutella for Christmas. He was always trying to like be around me, try to like start meetings where I needed to be there. It was just a whole thing. But everybody who was working there was definitely like, give me more, give me more, give me more, give me more. We were putting on a show.
Yeah. And here's the thing is, I think this is something that is probably more common than not. And it's something that happens because like you spend most of your life at work, you know what I mean? And then you go home and whatever, you know what I mean? But you see your coworkers all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I work in a hair salon and then I do stand-up comedy, and you don't want to date either of those positions. You cannot date a comedian, they're terrible, and you cannot date another hairstylist. Like it's just, I can't imagine that type of competition. Not at all.
I think what would be our smart thing to do is if anybody is considering dating a coworker is make sure that there is some sort of friendship there. because at least if you start us as friends, there's like that basis of respect. Like my ex and I, there was no basis of respect in our relationship. So when we brought the relationship to work, it was like shame on us. However, I do think that if you go in and you're both friends and mature enough, then you can definitely make it work. But it is hard because sometimes office flings happen without you even really realizing that they're happening. And I mean that by like all of a sudden you're just like crushing on someone that's right in front of you. They're always there and you're not intentionally seeking anything.
Yeah, and I will say this. I lived in this high-rise apartment one time, and I slept with a couple of my neighbors. And it got a little messy. The worst is when you're like in the elevator with somebody else going up.
Oh God.
And they're in there with you and you're like,
oh no.
Yeah, we went through a little messy era when I lived in that apartment. It was a little messy and I did a lot of questionable things like that.
Yeah.
But I'm a kind of person where I am friends with almost all my exes. There's like only one or two.
No.
There's only one or two that I've sworn off, okay? But I run into the people I've dated all the time. A couple of my closest friends, I met them because we dated.
Okay.
But now it's been so long ago, and I'm a completely different person, whatever, than then. So
yes. But I mean, like, I think it's one of those things where like you could probably be friends with an ex from so many years ago and all like the dust has settled. But like I don't even care to see my exes. Like I have ex-boyfriends from high school who like have me still to this day blocked on everything. And I know this because like, my best friends and I, we had a sleepover recently and we were like creeping and we were like, I'm still blocked. High school was how many years ago? It's like, I just don't get it. But my advice, Shelly, is when you go to work, hold your head high. Don't even look at him. Go for that promotion. Don't let him bring you down. And just thrive. Just do everything you need to do to thrive. Do the things that maybe you didn't do when you were with him because of him. Just absolutely just live your life. And he's going to be, they say that guys take breakups way harder than girls. And I see it and I believe it. And I think that if you can just go in and just be thriving every day, then you're coming out and you're leaving that office, I'm assuming, on top all the time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and just to do a little callback, be Beyonce's version of Jolene when you go into work.
Yes. Honestly, like, just if there's another woman in there that wants him, let her take him. Let her.
Jolene.
I'd be like, Jolene, come get my man. Like, ew. Oh my God. Okay, well, that is a wrap for today's episode. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. I hope you guys have had just as much as fun as we have. I feel like we've had a lot of fun today. But be sure to send in your questions as well as your highlights and lowlights of the week. There's no limit. So yeah, have a good week and we will see you guys next week.
Okay, I want to add in one thing is that hopefully this episode, we have recorded it in a better way, that we've hopefully upgraded the sound and everything. So hopefully it's, the best episode yet.
Let us know what you think of the sound quality, because if my at-home studio isn't working out, I'm going to snap, but I need to know.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Okay, guys. We'll talk to you guys later. Have a good day.
Bye.